Et salut à tous. Ça y est, on arrive à la 10e vidéo. Ah oui, on faisait un peu le tour là. On va lui reparler. Hein.
Lowman, you caught me at an opportune moment. This awful weather keeps me awake. You can entertain me with your questions.
Est-ce que ce serait pas vous, la conductrice?
Did you just call me a lady, Herife?
Très fait.
She clearly doesn't think she's
Très
a
fait.
lady. Don't repeat it.
On m'a parlé d'une femme de la route. Vous n'êtes pas la seule femme par ici?
I'm not that either, Herife. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul.
Vous n'êtes pas la conductrice qui fait flipper tout le monde alors.
I'm only terrifying to small children and to those who used to know me.
Du coup, c'est qui la conductrice?
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around when I have my movies to go to?
Bon, semblerait que c'est pas elle. Vous faites peur aux anciennes connaissances?
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was.
Le voyage lointain, c'était quoi?
The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there, it's all just. In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay.
You feel very cold suddenly, as if standing face to face with a terrifying adversary. Then the feeling dissipates, and all you see is an aging woman.
Oh, Sim.
Something in her is pulling towards some unknown rest state. She twitches, like a sleep kick.
Ah, bon, c'est qui Mais c'est vrai qu'il faut que je le décroche, mais bon. Il faut que j'accède au port pour ça. On va leur demander à lui, je sais pas.
Hello, compatriote. You have something to discuss?
Où est la
I
conductrice?
don't know what you're talking about.
Ah, pourquoi vous ricanez?
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Evangel West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
Dans ce caquet aux commandes de la conductrice?
No. He means la puta madre.
Et ça, il faut pas traduire, hein, parce que ça, c'est vulgaire. Hein.
The name resounds like a bell in the air, a dark gong. You get. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
Ok.
Yeah, him.
Croisez les bras.
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts.
Il va à fond dans le racisme, quoi. Peut rien
You're
dire.
not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is. It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
Kitsuragi!
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorrymen and Carters Guild.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Ouais, tu m'étonnes.
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
Ses mains tremblent, ok, ça marche.
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod.
Ouais, c'est ce que je me suis dit
I
aussi.
softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job.
Allez, 72% de réussite. Allez.
Men like
Allez.
this only respect two things: strength and fear. Time to turn up the volume.
Montrez-moi où se trouve son putain de camion. Indiquez-moi le camion de la conductrice. Où est-il?
Fuck you, I told you. I'm not gonna...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Inspecter ton putain de camion, je sais où il est, le montrer du doigt. Je vais lui foutre le feu pigé.
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
Il agite la main en signe de mépris. Son camion est là-bas, un taco vert bousillé. Je sais pas où elle est.
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Ah ouais, je suis sûr que c'est
Past the
celle qu'on a
monument,
vue.
down there. The Green Temple. Now, leave me the fuck alone, okay?
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Looks like he got his adrenaline up, too.
Allez. On va peut-être finalement enfin avancer. Ah, là, le petit taco vert.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
J'essaie de jeter un œil à
The
l'intérieur.
glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and two steering levers. It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
C'est la poignée
The
de portée.
door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced. There's no picking this lock. The owner has put special care into it. It's a recessed design.
Comment est-ce qu'on peut l'ouvrir?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Vraiment?
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
À l'aide du pied de biche. Déjà, je vais le mettre dans ma main. Bah, je l'ai déjà. Ok, pardon.
This
Let's
green
hear.
found, A to Z,
Oh, 42%,
contemporaire,
je vais
is
louper.
parked in the pry bar
voilà.
in hand. You take a hard swing, goddamn maggot. Drag your ass to the gym and do some reps right now.
Désolé, j'ai foiré.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
He
Il va le faire
smashes
lui-même.
it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement. You can just reach in now.
Allez, joli.
It went better than I expected. Open it from the inside.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
On va regarder les outils et après la radio, je pense, en
A
priorité.
metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Regardez le
It's
journal,
an
hein.
issue of Petit Ferric from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
Ok.
These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
Je me suis toujours pas remis ma gueule de bois, moi.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Radio, posters. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed. Likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
It has to be an advanced model to fit so many frequencies next to each other without blending them together.
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire avec cette radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key.
C'est tous les contacts,
For
j'imagine.
contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. With quite a range too.
A 20-kilometer radius at least.
Ouais, quand même.
Perhaps extended by an attachable antenna that's not here right now. The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old
Diminuer les
toolbox.
pédales.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver.
Ok, ok.
But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Un bout de papier de verre est collé sur l'accélérateur.
Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Ouais, et alors?
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. There's a
Admirez le
radio
poster.
transmitter. These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
Servez la pinotte.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even,
Quoi
perhaps.
encore ce truc là?
Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom.
Ça suffit.
The actresses and the rear actor all close the rusty.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Okay.
All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep. Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation.
J'ai l'impression que c'est plus compliqué que prévu en effet.
I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Ah, ça serait dommage. Regarde, le
We didn't
syndicat.
find anything conclusive
Ah ouais, c'est
linking
vrai.
them to the smuggling operation. But somehow, I doubt that Everard Clare would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose.
Mhm.
My suggestion is, we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down, indirectly, down the road.
Les posters.
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are
Oui.
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
C'est vrai que ça y a beaucoup de femmes pour une cabine de conductrice.
Yes, well,
Ok, bon.
Unimportant.
we should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
Tu m'étonnes.
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption.
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either. Debrief over.
C'est lequel déjà empreinte de pas dans la poussière? Qu'est-ce qu'il veut là?
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
Tout va bien se passer.
Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
Une
The
question.
man taps his fingers rhythmically
Bah non,
again.
en fait, non. Ça fait longtemps que j'ai pas fait les poubelles. Ah oui, mais je sais pas comment on monte ici. C'est ça les pas dans la poussière.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
Ah.
8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. Where else have we seen a gang of men in work boots? That's right, the hardy boys in the mess hall of whirling in rags. 1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced
Steel.
toes, number 46. Just like Titus was wearing in his booth, this is the big dick, Titus Hardy, the one with the ball cap on his head. Is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. Putting them on the scene is easy, maybe even too easy. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. Either the blonde muscular guy, Glenn, or the young guy with a plectrum around his neck. 3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 43. The inked banger, perhaps. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46. Theo, the old smoker. You think you even see a tiny fleck of cigarette ash inside the print. 5. Another standard work boot, reinforced toes, number 44. Same as before. Either the musician, Eugene, or the muscle-bound blonde, Glenn. 6. Light as air. Same make of boot, but number 41. Small like a rat, shanky.
J'aurais dû piger ça plus tôt.
Better late than never, detective. The whole world is dark.
Compte les autres.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. The imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. Fat Angus, carrying something.
Mhm.
8. Another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole. The right sole is smoother, more worn. Curious. A missing 8th Hardy Boy.
Mhm.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardy Boys were here.
8.
That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary? I'm
Allez.
guessing that's the skinny Hardy Boy. The one with his front teeth missing.
41, il m'avait dit quoi? 41. Je l'ai vu en plus. Un petit rat, léger. Et lui, il dit quoi? Oui,
I could still be wrong, but I'm probably not.
pour le balèze, 200 kg.
200. This could be the combined weight
Bah
of
oui.
2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built armored man. Maybe it was a fat Hardy Boy, the one sitting in the middle.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Ouais, je pense que c'est ça aussi.
Possibly, yes.
Une aberration. Un pied plus léger que l'autre.
Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the missing Hardy Boy. Wonder who he is.
Oh, this one's easy. Way too easy. It's a driver.
Un conducteur abîmerait sa semelle droite avant la gauche. L'accélérateur se trouve à droite et vous vous rappelez cette cabine de camion abonné que nous avons trouvée.
With a piece of sandpaper glued to the throttle.
Ah,
Which means that the missing lady driver was also present at the lynching? That's it. She's the Old Soul.
d'abord le trafic de drogue, puis cette affaire, ça commence à faire
Now we
beaucoup.
know who's the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
Tout le syndicat est dedans, je pense.
We should start with Titus Hardy. See what he's got to say on the matter. This might
C'est-
throw them off. Work in our advantage. So what else?
Enfin, ça, je pense que c'est
A
idiot, mais
week, maybe? 7 days would fit
Hmm.
the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
vous savez ça.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
Bon, ça, c'est une question des villes encore.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. Then, after hoisting him up,
Voilà,
they
c'est pour
stood in
ça
a
que je le
semicircle
pose pour
facing
avoir
his
l'XP.
direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed, they all stood in a row here and looked at the tree.
So far, so good. Only one thing missing.
Of
Oh.
course, there were 8 tracks, but there are only 7 Hardy Boys.
Et, ça, c'est qu'on a déjà parlé de ça.
Mhm. Which one is missing, do you think? I'm going to... Yes. I doubt the Hardys are going to tell us much, but we should
c'est
still
ce qu'on-
confront them about the possible drug trade connection.
Comment on l'ouvre déjà?
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Oh, on va le tenter, hein. Pas que. Est-ce que j'ai un truc qui augmente la perception?
An inconspicuous
tant pis.
pile of the because there's a
Oh,
secret
bien,
door hidden
bien,
behind the
bien,
panels
bien.
of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
What is this then? A tool shed?
C'était vachement fort.
Let's
quand même.
investigate.
l'électrochimie, il va dire ouais, tu veux te
Be
droguer tout
still,
ça.
my beating heart.
Eh ouais.
The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you.
Quelqu'un consommait de la drogue ici, peut-être que la police devrait s'en occuper.
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. However, see that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use.
Mhm. Ah, j'ai réussi à passer la normale. Ah mince. Ah, ok, d'accord.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment.
Mhm.
You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
Regardez aux
The
alentours.
wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over the container yard. The look in his eyes is a mix of the engineer-like interest and the wonder of a 6-year-old seeing a horse for the first time.
Mhm.
That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Bon, on va montrer la grue. Hein.
Is it? Qualson makes a lot of heavy equipment, but this is phenomenal, even for them. But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here.
Qu'est-ce qu'on
I
fait
was
ici au
under the
juste?
assumption we could ask the leader of this union to help us get this body down. This is why we're here, right? Or it could be that we are just exploring.
He's thinking you've forgotten where you are again.
Cette plaque m'appartient, je pense que je devrais aller
Cloak?
chercher.
I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it? Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2-meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it, I'll be right behind you.
Non, non, je vais pas le faire tout de suite. 3% quand même, faut pas abuser. Et non. Mhm. Donc après je pourrais y aller après la mise en scène, ok. Est-ce que j'ai des trucs qui montrent la mise en scène maintenant? Ah, j'ai -2. En fait, je me suis mis à poil, on verra bien. J'ai juste envie de retenter pour le coup. Parce que je gagne quand même 2 points.
A tarpaulin cloak is still caught
Allez,
on the
vas-y.
railing. No one has claimed it for their own.
Oh non, je vais perdre un point de santé, c'est sûr.
Nope, no. That's still.
Sure. Just be careful, okay?
Avance. Je devrais même pas le mettre ce pantalon. Ah non. Je vais faire ça finalement. C'est dur de trouver de la thune, hein. Ok. C'était quoi la porte cadenassée? Oh, j'ai oublié. Carte épinglée. Bon, vas-y, je vais voir quand même. Il était pas là lui avant.
Several maps. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map. This large map, Ozon, in the north, radiating outwards from you. The suzerain Revachol. You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelier, and lost little pearls of light. Tiny fires. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy. Connections to other worlds, words past the Insulindian, and you have little idea what they are. Distant stars. Perhaps they are.
Pas ça les cartes épinglées? Bon, tant pis. T'es qui toi? Bonjour.
Hello?
Qui êtes-vous?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much.
Que faites-vous?
Looking for something to read.
Bien, bien.
It is. I
Ici.
know you are.
Très bien alors.
Mhm.
Besoin de l'aide d'un
What
policier?
with?
Peut-être parce que votre mari est
My
disparu?
husband? No, he's not.
Alors, où est le
I
petit?
don't know. At home now? Out
Je sais
drinking
même
with
pas qui
his
c'est son
friends?
mari.
Working?
Where is this going, officer?
Je sais pas où trouve
Yes,
son
but
mari.
I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Pourquoi?
No.
Je suis entièrement prêt à vous aider.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
Chut ma grosse. Non, tout va bien.
What?
Rien de honteux.
Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. My husband is not missing.
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then.
Peut-être que c'est vos
No,
enfants.
absolutely not.
Ok, ils sont où alors?
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
Nounou. Ils sont où vos
They are
enfants?
not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance. What if something horrible has happened? What if they're dead? That's the bad vibe you got before.
Sa maison exacte?
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down
J'ai
in
dû oublier
Jamrock.
un truc là parce que
There's
je me souviens pas
nothing
de lui
to
avoir
worry
parlé.
about.
Savoir qui sont ses filles.
She's getting upset. Her voice has risen as she tries to convince herself that her daughters are safe.
They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
Je crois que le danger ne soit désormais plus présent que jamais.
My
Quel âge?
youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them.
On est
Why do
d'écrire.
you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Jamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party?
Did someone say party? You could use a party. Hunt it down.
Je m'efforce d'être
There
professionnel.
is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
Le
I
cacatoès?
don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a
ouais.
bit of a...
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge him at this point.
A-t-il disparu?
I don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what?
Huh?
Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing.
D'accord.
Great.
Quoi,
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Oh non, non.
Please, let's do.
Her hands move over the book covers. An array of neurons fire up with joy.
Vous fumez?
No, I don't.
Elles sont certaines que vous fumez.
Why do you think that I smoke?
Pas tous par
You're
là.
right, we do smoke worse than chimneys here.
Donnez-moi juste une cigarette s'il vous plaît.
I already told you, I don't have any.
She's lying. She's goddamn lying. She has smokes.
Ok.
She sighs. The woman before.
Oh, je l'ai juste fait ultra chier la meuf. Je sais plus si je lui ai parlé à lui. Ok.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Je trouve ses yeux.
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
She's trying to conceal her excitement, but the slight glimmer in her green eyes tells you otherwise.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I
Vas-y, dis-moi.
wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
Ah bon.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
J'ai entendu parler d'un lien entre le lynchage et la grève. J'ai besoin de votre
I
témoignage.
have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Manque de confiance.
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Ok.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
J'ai besoin de la sécurité.
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Ok.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
Ok, on a la même version pour
He was
l'instant.
taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
Pour l'instant.
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
Pas bon, je présume.
It's not good. No. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
On se prépare à ce que vous fournissiez un seul suspect plausible avant que les mercenaires ne choisissent le leur sans discernement. Vous ne faites pas porter le chapeau à quelqu'un de crédible en vitesse. Ils identifieront et exécuteront toutes les personnes présentes lors du lynchage.
The Debarder have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons. even yours. Most union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Et sinistre.
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Tu peux me dire sur Crenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenel.
Vous les contactez, on les rappelle.
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Il dit que le défunt avait gracié une
Or he
femme.
didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Qui a fait circuler
The
l'information?
remaining contractors, their tribunal, it's what they believe.
On dit quoi?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with
Il
Elysium.
t'ouvre.
Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night,
On le
at
sait
the
déjà.
Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock
Ah.
workers got their hands on
C'est ça que
him.
je veux savoir, c'est qui la
That's
femme?
a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
Ce colonel qui s'est fait prendre, vous le connaissez?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice, but she had sympathy for this man.
Il s'appelait...
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Parlez-moi des autres.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased's.
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man.
I can't remember.
That's all right, ma'am. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Je trouve les deux mercenaires qui restent.
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
Oui.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
On doit au moins savoir où ils sont.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Où sont ces mercenaires?
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
Ouais, le gros bras.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
Dans un bâtiment qui donne sur le rond-point.
It would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Non, je vois pas qui c'est.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask?
Je pensais que c'était la file à droite. Et ça donne pas que c'est sur le rond-point ci.
Heavens no.
Peut-être.
I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
Une autre question pour vous.
I hope I can answer it better.
Combien de temps avons-nous?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you
Oui,
with,
parle-moi
of
des
course.
tatouages.
Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute.
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Franchement, sur un micro, c'est
Close. Port cities. This is an Oranese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Quoi ça sert?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
Il va à la
The
morgue.
times have changed.
Le voyage a fait
Quite a
l'homme.
few. Vredefort, the Oranese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the
Grande.
Stad's Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnes Islands, then this, Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Tu peux m'en dire
His
plus?
platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tactful, it could be beneficial. Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
Ah oui.
Do what you have to do, detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
Je l'apprends, mais je suis obligé de le faire.
We will be careful, ma'am.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
J'aurais bien aimé demander de l'argent quand même. C'est quoi déjà?
An intricate web of it almost looks like, for you, someone close.
Mise en scène, ah oui. Conceptualisation. Il y a deux logiques. Affinité mécanique, je peux pas plus. Conceptualisation. Instrument physique. Ah oui, ça a l'air pas mal, instrument physique. Il y a mise en scène aussi. Bon, je pense qu'on va s'arrêter là pour cette vidéo. Je vous dis à la prochaine. Tchou!